Hello. Right now, I was seeing what I had in terms of quests and things. I have a few quests that I want to finish for today. I'm thinking of doing this one, the Dragonborn, the one with the coldest orders that I actually got a really long ago. Riftstone Fishery. This one's also really good. So I'll try to do the coldest one if I have time and do this one. Kind Sacred Trials. That would be kind of good too. What else do I have here? Yeah, no, I wasn't following any of this. I have so many miscellaneous quests. I don't know when I'm going to do that. Okay, Solstheim was over here, right? Yeah. Okay, let's go to the stables first. Now that I think about it, did I manage my storage? Wait. Yeah, I did. Okay, so that way. Okay, let's just go there. This is mine. Let's go. Okay. Like for a moment I thought that was my horse and I was like, what am I over there? Okay. Today I'm actually recording on Monday. It was a very busy weekend. So I'll see how far I can get. And if I... Oh, this was not a good idea. Okay. Wait. I need to go back. I'll see if I can advance a little. See what I can do. And see how much time it takes me to upload everything. Maybe this is going to be uploaded very late. I hope not that much. Is there a stair or something here? Like, I know I should not be coming in through the water, but there we go. Need to talk to this person. Hello?
If you're looking for passage to Solstheim, too bad. I'm not going back there anymore.
Why not? Charlene Salsage. Are you the captain of the Northern Maiden?
Sure. Yeah, that's me. Why? Who sent you?
I was attacked by some cultists who came here on your ship.
Now, hold on. That wasn't my fault. I didn't know they were going to attack anybody. I don't even know how I got here.
How can you not know how you got here? You sailed here, right?
It's hard to explain. I remember those people with the masks coming on board. Then, the next thing I remember, I was here, and they were gone. That's not right, losing whole days like that.
Oh.
There's been something strange going on there for a while. But after this, I'm done. I'm not going back to Solstheim.
I see. Yes, you are. You're taking me to Solstheim. I wouldn't like to do that to him, though.
Have you been listening to me? I'm not going back there.
I'll pay you, devil. You owe me. No. People are trying to kill me. I'll pay you.
Well, a man's got to make a living after all. Fine. We'll cast off immediately.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to force him. Like... Money is better for that type of situation, I think. At least he gets something out of it. And it's just... I love the sky in this game. I love it so much.
Well, here we are. This is Raven Rock. Can't say I'm all that glad to see it again.
Raven Rock.
Maybe you can figure out what's going on around here.
Mm-hmm. Raven Rock discovered. Okay, and where I am in the map. I just now realized I think I haven't made this. I haven't done this quest. No, I haven't. Are you someone? Adril. I don't know.
This is your first visit to Raven Rock, Outlander. State your intentions.
Looking for Mirak. Do you know him? Just looking for work. I'm looking for Mirak.
Mirak, I'm not sure that I do. Just remember, Raven Rock is sovereign territory of House Redoran. This is Morrowind, not Skyrim. While you're here, you will be expected to abide by our laws. Any questions?
Do you know what are you so suspicious of visitors? Raven Rock is purely a Dunmer settlement.
Raven Rock started out as an imperial settlement, but the Empire decided to abandon it, just as my people were first setting foot here.
Okay.
The town a shambles, but when House Redoran took over, we turned it around and it became ours. And even if it's been a struggle to make this island livable, we're proud to call it home.
I see. Why are you so suspicious of visitors? I mean,
I have to be.
yeah.
Second Counselor, the security of Raven Rock is my primary concern.
Has security been an issue?
This isn't exactly the city of Blacklight. We're on the frontier out here, and we've had more than a fair share of troubles. After all we've been through together, I refuse to let Counselor Morvain down.
What do your titles mean?
Counselor Morvain is House Redoran's representative on Solstheim.
Okay.
As second Counselor, it's my job to support him and make certain his rule is enforced.
Okay. What is the city of Blacklight?
How can you have Dunmer blood in your veins and have no knowledge of Blacklight?
I forget. Okay, yeah, the capital.
Since Mournhold was sacked by the Argonians. I don't visit there often anymore, but we still get the occasional supply ship and visitors from there.
But the Argonians invaded Morrowind?
Quite a while ago, yes. They cut a bloody swath across most of the southern region of Morrowind. Nobody seems certain why it happened. An attempted expansion, revenge for the enslavement of their people, or perhaps both. Whatever the case may be, thousands of Dunmer needlessly lost their lives, and many more were exiled from their homeland.
Okay, so now to the really important question. Do you know who Mirak is?
I'm unsure. I swear I know the name, but I cannot place it.
Can you tell me anything?
I don't think so. I'm not... The name has something to do with the Earthstone, I think, but I'm not sure what.
Okay, so nothing else from you.
Talk to Captain Garland if you're looking to book passage.
We were delayed by bad weather. Before you even ask, yes, I have the supplies you requested. But what? Snow cost me double what we'd agreed on. Nothing I can do about it. Damn it, Jolland, you know we don't have that much coin. The East Empire Company didn't give me a choice. They've raised their prices again, and there's nothing I can do about it. After all these years, they're gouging us for every last drake we have. Let me talk to Laryl. I'll see what we can do. All right, then. Don't worry about rushing. Just pay me when you can.
That's an interesting piece of information. Okay.
There's nothing beyond the bulwark except wild nords and ash wastes.
What a weird looking armor.
Here will be tolerated as long as you abide by our laws. Otherwise, you'll answer to the Redoran Guard.
Oh, don't worry. I abide the law quite well, I think. No, I haven't been here. Really? Well, I used to play more when I was when it just came out. Okay, investigate the shrine. I want to look at the city though. Huh. What is this? Allure? Allure's house. Rechinech.
I
Okay.
work for Mogrel. You got a problem, you talk to him.
I see.
Welcome to the
Well,
Reclamations Corner Club, my lady. If you need anything, Master Geldis will be happy to help you.
What an interesting attire. Wow. This looks like an inn.
Welcome to the Reclamations Corner Club. Welcome to the Reclamations, Outlander. What can I get you?
Your inn has an unusual name.
There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sujamma in hand. He was one of my patrons, and he liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised.
Doesn't sound unusual.
But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a Netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the Netch, yells, "Have a drink," and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground.
What did the Nets do?
Well, the bottle broke on the Netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that Netch was sick.
Now I get it. Yeah.
Story, friend. True story.
Heard any rumors lately?
The finest Sujamma across your lips,
What the
friend.
fuck with this
The old
menu?
personal formula
Okay.
that I call Sadri's Sujamma. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it.
I could spread the word for you.
I was kind of hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujamma and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
Good. I wanted to ask you for the rumors.
If you've got gold on your hands, you might talk to Rallis of the Colbjorn Barrow. I've heard he wants to excavate the place.
Thank you.
Come back if you're feeling thirsty. I'll set you up right.
Okay, so there's a few. Yeah, this is the inn. I like it. Subterranean. Scarecrow. Oh, there's an alchemy table here. Okay, that should be the thing.
Misery? I'll give you misery. Try getting a sign to scrape Netch scum off the front of the bulwark.
I didn't say anything. Just... You gotta love that the NPCs sometimes are really mad at you for no reason. Okay. Okay, so I go this way. Okay, just in case. You know, just, yeah. I don't have charges on the sword. There you go. What does it do? Good that I didn't come here with my weapon drone.
Second counselor, a Raven Rock, it would be my pleasure to help you any way that I can.
Hello.
You're able to venture outside of town. Perhaps you could help me recover something precious that was lost.
Galdis Sadri wants you to try his new drink. You mentioned you lost something.
A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived.
I see. Was it aboard the ship?
Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that.
Mm.
The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine?
How do you know?
One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers.
Okay, I'll see if I can find the book for you.
Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is... You aren't here with bad news regarding my husband, are you? I couldn't bear it.
No, not at all. Do you know who's your husband? Wait.
Arano, second
Okay.
counselor of Raven Rock. How I hate that title. Damn fool's going to get himself killed over it someday.
You worry too much on your husband's behalf.
He's in grave danger, and yet he continues
Oh.
to place himself in harm's way. When I fall asleep at night, all I can do is hope he'll still be there when I awaken. This island was never meant for us. There's too much death here.
Perhaps you should return to Morrowind.
I assure you, if I could convince Adril to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Adril and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings.
Okay, so you haven't told him how you feel?
I'm the wife of a second counselor, and certain things are expected of me.
What faithless minds have stolen.
Okay.
I'm the wife of a second counselor.
So you just stay there.
As the wife to the second counselor of Raven Rock, it would be my pleasure to help you any way that I can.
Where are you from originally?
He's in grave.
Of
This island was never meant for us. I assure. Unfortunately, Adril and Councillor Morvain are. I'm the wife of a second. The most important thing is that I stand by Adril no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock.
I see. I hate that. It's like it's selecting the one on top instead of this one. Where are you from originally?
And I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind.
Okay.
This Redoran has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals that of Mournhold itself. The root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold.
I see. Sounds like quite a sight.
I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity.
And when the world shall listen,
What
haven't
does
seen
it
the
do
city
that?
in Regardless, I hope to return
There.
there someday, which doesn't seem likely given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain.
I see. Do you know someone called Mirak?
Why does that sound so familiar? There's no one here by that name, and yet I swear I've heard it.
Where did you hear the name?
I don't know. It almost feels like a dream. Something about a temple on the island.
Okay. Gildis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
Oh, how kind. Thank Elders for me, won't you?
Yeah. Oh, I have 10.
Second counselor, so I certainly have the means to
Hi.
reward you if you can find my folio.
Okay.
Here we reclaim.
What faithless minds have stolen.
You there. You don't seem to be in quite the same state as the others here. Very interesting. May I ask what it is you're doing here?
Looking for someone called Mirak.
Mirak. It sounds familiar, and yet I can't quite place... Oh, wait, I recall. But that makes very little sense. Mirak's been dead for thousands of years.
What does that
I'm
mean?
not sure, but it is fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps it has some relation to what's going on here. Quite unexpected. I'm afraid I can't give you any answers, but there are ruins of an ancient temple of Mirax toward the center of the island. If I were you, I'd look there.
Okay, what are these people doing? Have you tried to stop this? What can you tell me about Morrowind? What are these people doing?
Building something, clearly. And yet they don't seem to have much to say about it. I'm very
Oh,
interested to find out what happens when they finish.
are you not worried? Even a little bit? I would be. Have you tried to stop this?
Certainly not. Doing so would interfere with whatever is going on, and I would be unable to see how this all turns out.
Okay. What can you tell me about Morrowind?
There is the big island of Ardenfell and the coastal mainland. House Telvanni has its properties on Vardenfell. I've never been to the mainland myself.
Okay.
That's that then.
So these people here are doing this and it's not approved by the city. That's what I'm getting. They also are not Nightshade. That Nightshade looks a bit red. Ramarud. I'm getting stuff that I didn't get before, which is kind of nice. It said I had a marker. Okay, so this is Temple of Mirak. Ooh, this is a big area. I am very happy with that. I'm very happy. Can you not push me? Man, have at least a little bit of respect.
That we might remember.
Hmm?
By night we reclaim.
Okay.
What by day was stolen.
What by day was stolen. Okay. Interesting. Oh, a bit. I want to know what's there, though. Wait. Okay. That is such a different look from Skyrim. Why are there so many butterflies? There's no flowers. Anything here? Nothing? Okay. That's mine. Okay. Okay, so I should be going over there. That kind of looks like something. To the Temple of Mirak. Oh, that looks nice. Can I go to the volcano? Can I go there? I might as well just try to do everything in this area.
Far from ourselves.
Oh, I'm so happy about that. Oh, wait. There. There's the lean rod here. Okay, so... Oh, I really want to go that way, though.
Oh, hello. Are you looking for a handout or something?
No, but...
My father and mother are the richest on the island, and that includes Councillor Morvain.
Do you know someone called Mirak?
That's not someone who lives in Raven Rock, I don't think. But it sounds so familiar.
He's somewhere on Solstheim?
Maybe. I can't help but think of some sort of temple on the island. Why would that be?
It's like everyone has forgotten about him. Bill is sad that he wants you to try his new drink.
Tell Geldis that Miri says she really appreciates it.
Okay, that's two.
Next time.
Okay, so I need to try and talk to all the people. I might as well just do that as I do other stuff.
How do you feel? I think you might be sick.
I could be. I haven't checked the status effects. What's to try? Do you know someone called Mirak? Where do you learn alchemy skills? You're selling quite a few exotic ingredients.
Yes, I'm proud to say that I grow or harvest most of it myself.
Nice.
I only wish I had a better source for netch jelly. Those creatures are difficult to track down since it's so dangerous beyond the bulwark.
Do you want help? I could gather some for you.
Splendid. I'd be more than happy to give you something for the effort.
Yeah. Get a drink.
Mix some of this into my next potion. Who knows what would happen?
Okay. Do you know someone called Mirak?
So, though it sounds like a name I've heard before.
Can you tell me anything?
I hear that name, and I see a temple here on Solstheim. What could that mean?
Everyone's the same.
Careful with those netches. They may look tame, but they can seriously hurt you when threatened.
Mm-hmm. An open chest. Interesting.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any fine ash-grown foods?
Drink.
Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with.
Yay. What exactly is ash-grown food?
The Dunmer have been growing food in the ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever.
Is magic involved?
No. Only the Tilvani have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience.
I see.
Just got some of my merchandise off the latest supply
Hmm.
ship. See if anything strikes your fancy.
Was someone sniffing on my ear? Let's see. What do you have? Okay, they're not full in. That was different. Matze. Chocolate milk. Okay. There's wine. Nut leather. Okay. So you do have a few things.
Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of food for sale.
Miri, I already talked to you.
Looking for a handout or something?
I work for Mogrel. You got a problem, you talk to him.
Want to buy
Fists.
anything, or just laugh at our misfortunes? Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks.
Okay. What exactly sells bad out here?
Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today?
Hmm.
Half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm.
You have friends at the East Empire Company?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. The lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude. The biggest warehouse they have in Skyrim.
Okay.
Bah, you're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my words. The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock. And when they do, I'll be at the top of their list.
I see. Do you sell any special mining gear?
Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item.
What's an East Empire pendant?
It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point. A kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them.
Where can you find them?
Anywhere on the island. The mines might be a good place to start. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheim, bring them here, and I'll pay you for it.
East Empire
Okay.
pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone.
That isn't my problem.
Make way.
Big way.
That I wanted it back by first harvest.
Maybe I find anyone in the Ratchet Nest.
Teldrin, the best swordsman in all Morrowind is at your service. For the right price.
Well, we have all sorts of authentic dark elf food and drink here. Gildis spares no expense. Sorry, Gildis won't allow me to drink while I'm working at Vinetch.
Sorry. There. I wanted to get up. I don't know what your hours are, though. Yep.
Miserable. Just miserable. Oh, I hate this place.
You don't like it in Solstheim?
Don't like it. I hate it. Every day it's the same thing. We open the shop, we hardly sell a thing, we close the shop and go to sleep. What kind of a life is that?
Why not return to Morrowind?
Oh, believe me, I'd be on the first ship off this miserable island if I could. But I'm not sure I could do that to my father. I think it would break his heart. We've already lost my mother. I don't want to leave him alone.
I see. How did your mother die?
We lived in a settlement, perhaps a league from the border of Black Marsh, the homeland of the Argonians. Even though the Argonian invasion ended a long time ago, there are still a few scale-skinned clans that live within our borders. To put it simply, they attacked our settlement and slaughtered almost everyone. It was horrible. At least my father will let me drink whatever I want without complaining. Tell Geldis I appreciate it. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim's still a dangerous place.
Will do.
My husband Bendel feared visitors would shun Raven Rock. I'm glad to see he was mistaken. Always nice to speak to someone from the mainland. Sure, got nothing better to do.
I just love that everyone's accepting it. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. You know someone called Mirak?
Mirak. I'm sure I've heard that name before. Haven't I? Was it in a dream?
I see.
May your path be free from danger.
You haven't seen Cretius Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again.
Precious. What all the fuss over a simple pickaxe?
No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know.
Okay. Can you just get the guard to find Precious?
I prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Cretius, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble.
Okay. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of quests. Geldis sadly wants to try this new drink.
Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip.
There you go. How do you end up in Ravenrock?
A fine question, and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Ravenrock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften.
So you're from Riften. Okay. Who told you that?
I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Ryth, a very talented armorsmith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since.
Okay. What's an Asian Nordic pickaxe?
It's the only tool tough enough to crack SKYRIM, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Cretius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I traded them some goods for it.
I see. Is Dalrim a type of ore?
Calling SKYRIM an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that.
I assume it's rare.
I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime. and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull Village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk about Mirak.
Wait. Maybe. I don't know how I know that name.
Which is it, yes or no?
I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this.
Okay.
You tell Cresius he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else.
Sure. I don't know who Cresius is. Oh, that's a guard. Okay, let's go to the port here. See if there's anyone that we can give the drink to. Anyone here wants a drink? Wants to talk to me or anything?
Yes?
No.
May the wind be at your back.
Hi.
Looking for passage. Talk to Captain Gallo.
Okay, you're not. Good to know. I haven't gone there. Oh. Temple. Someone's here.
Though our spirits may be low and danger lurks beyond the light, I am confident that they will never abandon us again.
Elder Otherlo.
Are you here to pray? Or perhaps pay your respects at our ancestral tomb?
What exactly are the Reclamations? What are the ancestral tombs?
They're where we inter our dead. They are sacred places, meant to honor their passing. Sadly, we've been unable to use the ancestral tomb beneath the temple as of late, and have resorted
Why?
to
Do you need help?
to scatter the remains.
Why can't you use the tomb?
Those foul vermin, the abominations we call ash spawn, have risen from the ashes of our own ancestors. They're befouling the memories of our forefathers by defiling their remains.
Dude. He is talking to me. Back away. I'll cleanse the tomb for you.
Thank you, Wanderer. That would be most kind. Here, this key should open the door to the tomb.
Yes. Do you know someone called Mirak?
Sounds like something from a dream, and yet it might be more strange.
What sort of a dream?
I remember a temple on Solstheim and working to build something. It was not a pleasant dream.
That's what they're building, the thing on the shore. Okay, how do the Dunmer bury their dead?
The Dunmer race doesn't bury their dead or leave them to rot inside a stone sarcophagus. When a Dunmer passes, his body is given to fire so he might return to the ash from whence he came. The Dunmer don't believe that death is the end. We believe that it's the beginning.
What exactly are the Reclamations?
The Reclamations are the true tribunal, the Daedra that consecrate the Dunmer people, Azura, Methala, and Boethia. We call them the true tribunal because they have reclaimed their place in our hearts from the false tribunal that came before.
The false tribunal?
Sotha Sil, Amalexia, and Vivek represent what was.
Hmm.
Who won the Dunmer people's hearts with their actions, but blinded them just the same. They were aberrations, false prophets. They used their status as heroes to shield the true tribunal from our minds. But now that they've been destroyed, the light can finally shine upon the House of Reclamations. Be cautious, friend. The Ash Spawn are soulless beings with no regard for compassion.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll take care of it. It might take me a little bit more, but I'll take care of it. It is fascinating, though, how every race has its own beliefs. The moment you start taking like a little bit of time to read on the lore, it's always really interesting. History of Ravenrock, Volume 1. Yeah, I'm going to read that afterwards. What is going on here? A bed. Did I steal the other book? Wait. I don't like stealing though. Okay, no, it's not. It doesn't look like it's a stolen item. Good. But this one is. So the five far stars. This is a volume of verse collected from wise women of the Urshiklaku Ashlanders. It consists of verses composed by Ashlander warriors, champions, and Ashkans committed to memory by the wise women and transmitted down the generations. May I shrink to dust. Is attributed to the long dead poet and warrior Sir Shishi Musmanu. Rise from darkness, red mountain. Spread your dark clouds and green vapors. Birth earthquakes, shatter stones. Feed the winds with fire. Flay the tents of these tribes from the land. Feed the burned earth with our souls. Yet never shall you have your rule over me. Never shall I tremble or flinch from your power. Never shall I yield my home and hearth. And from my tears shall spring forth the flowers of grassland springs. That was a very short one. I don't want to steal. The Reclamations. The Reclamations, the Fall of the Tribunal and the Rise of the New Temple by Tara of Rihar. The destruction of Vivek City and the subsequent eruption of Red Mountain in 4th Era 5 was not just a crisis in terms of the physical destruction it caused. It also got deeply into the ancient religious belief of the Dunmer. The fall of the Ministry of the Truth was the last straw in the totter in support of the temple's worship of Almalexia, Sotha, Sil, and Vivek. With all three of the tribunes now widely believed dead or disappeared, and what had been a simmering schism within the ranks of the temple priesthood burst into the open. While outsiders may never know the full tale of this internal struggle, when the smoke cleared and a few years later the former dissident priests were in full control of the temple hierarchy, with tribunal loyalists either purged or recanted. The so-called New Temple now declared the worship of the tribunes as a result of misguided teaching, blaming the mistakes on the former tribunal. The temple now thought that the Dedra venerated by the Ashlander tribes Asura, Melfala, and Boethia were the true way and should be revered by the Dunmer people. Fittingly, the Dedra were named the Reclamations, as if they were reclaiming their status from the tribunal. In an elegant surprise, no doubt intended to reconcile the large majority of the temple priesthood, who were neither dissidents nor fanatic tribunal loyalists. Almalexia, Sothasil, and Vivek were relegated to the status of saints, a traditional way to venerate the most honored Dunmer ancestors. This apparently satisfied enough of the existing priesthood that the new temple was able to maintain at least a semblance of outward continuity. The rise of the new temple almost completely vindicated the previously persecuted Ashlanders, who had continued to worship the three Dedra throughout the tribunal's rule. The Ashlanders were now lauded as the keepers of the old ways and having true vision. It is now quite common for many of the Dunmer people to make arduous pilgrimages into the Ashways to seek the counsel of the wise women. These women have supposedly opened the eyes of those who claim were blinded by the tribunal, and directly connect the eruption of the Red Mountain and the Argonian invasion to the anger of the three Dedra. House Indoril, whose fortunes were so entwined with the tribunal temple, suffered greatly from its fall. while House Indoril still technically exists, the priesthood of the temple are now considered one and the same with House Indoril. Those who become priests are now considered to have joined Indoril. The political power of the Indoril has thus passed entirely into the hands of the temple, although members of the old House Indoril are still overrepresented in the priesthood. The rise of the new temple has a number of interesting parallels with the rise of House Redorand. Each feel the vacuum of power resulting from the crisis of Red Year. How durable these new arrangements will prove religious and political remains to be seen. The span of 2 centuries is quite brief for the long history of the ancient Dunmer people. I love reading these books. Wait, no, yeah, I can definitely steal that. More books? Okay, The Red Year, Volume 1 by Melis Ravel. Forward. When I originally decided to write this accounting of the Red Year, I elected to travel across Morrowind and speak to the Dunmer people themselves. I sought first-hand accounts and personal views about the Cataclysm event. I felt that if I simply did the research in the library stacks at the College of Winterhold, I wasn't really telling the tale that needed to be told. What struck me as I moved from city to city, town to town, camp to camp, is that all of the Dunmer I met shared an incredible bond of sheer courage and unshakable faith. So, what began as a chronicle of one of the worst events in the history of Morrowind became something altogether different. The celebration of a people who can never be defeated. Dralin Bess, Tyr, the ground. It just turned into mush. There was almost no warning. I mean, we were perhaps a mile from the nearest swamps. It was like the swamp suddenly swallowed up half of the city. I asked him to describe what happened from the beginning. I owned a farm just outside of Tyr at the time. We were planting the next season's crops and getting ready to store what we had harvested. Everything was going well until the Red Mountain exploded. Almost immediately, the ground rumbled and shook. Cracks started forming everywhere, and then the water just started seeping through. It was awful. In a matter of hours, I was knee-deep in swamp water, running from my life. Where I was running, I had no idea. At first, I ran towards the city itself, but it looked like the walls were cracking. All around me, people were desperately trying to save their livestock and their families from the rising water. Just when the ground shaking finally died down, and I had a moment to think, there was a horrible cracking noise. I never forget it, because I knew what it was before I looked. The entire southern wall of Tyr collapsed, sending guards tumbling into the swamp. I heard people screaming as they were covered by the rubble and forced down into the water. Forgetting my own problems, I looked over at my fellow farmers who were all staring at the carnage unfolding before us. Suddenly, we all just forgot our own problems and ran to help. There must have been hundreds of the poorer folks who lived outside the walls, helping the richer ones who lived in the city. Never saw anything like that. I think we must have saved hundreds more that day. Neria Relethil Gnisis? Neria was badly burned by the eruption and had trouble speaking to me. She is currently convalescing at the type of Azura in Blacklight. Even after all these years, I have tried to record her story to the best of my ability. It was such a terrible thing, the fire. It burned everything in its path. It flattened trees, turned our huts into splinters, and knocked over towers like they were made from parchment. It all happened in an instant. A rumbling sound, then a massive wall of flame. It was so high it blocked out the sun. I thought that the world itself had split apart. It passed over the water and turned into steam, vaporized everything it touched. When it finally hit us, I was blown off my feet. I didn't even have time to run away or seek shelter. I ended up in the riverbed next to town, which kept some of the flames off of me. All around, I could smell the charred stench of death. There were Dunmer that were burned alive, and some never even saw it coming. I lay in that riverbed for 2 days before the healers found me. When I could finally stand, Mnesis was gone. There was not a thing left. It's as thought it was wiped from the face of Tamriel. Yeah, the thing with the massive fires and stuff like that, like it's very difficult to outrun them. And there's been anecdotes just like that of people that save themselves by throwing themselves into a river or a lake to kind of escape the flames. It doesn't work all the time, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so The Red Year, Volume 2 by Melis Ravel. Forward. When I originally decided to write this accounting of the Red Year, I elected to travel across Morrowind and speak to the Dunmer people themselves. I sought first-hand accounts and personal views about the Cataclysm event. But that I simply did the research in the library, yeah, same forward as the first volume. Okay, so Saldus Lervu, Vivek City. I was a trader back then. Ran a backward from Vivek City, clear down to Narcisse. I was walking along the south road when the strangest thing happened. All of the noise around me stopped. The normal things one hears as they travel, like the sound of the wind blowing through the treetops. It was just deathly quiet. I felt a tingling sensation all over my body, and my guard began to stomp around. Whatever it was driving him crazy. As I tried to get him under control, there was a massive explosion from the center of the city. I saw the cantons fall apart before I was knocked off my feet. Then I remember the ground starting to rumble. It lasted for a long time, and I receded into the distance, as if directed towards the center of Vardenfell. A few minutes later, the Red Mountain erupted, sending a huge cloud of fire into the sky. My pack war had long since fled, and I decided I should do the same. I never stopped running until I reached Narcissus. I asked him if he knew what had happened in Vivek City. I didn't hear until much later that the Ministry of Truth had struck the heart of the city. What I do know for certain is that many Dunmer lost their lives that day, and that Vivek City is no more. Let us Dran, or Mournhold. The Red Year didn't heavily affect Mournhold itself, but it touched many of the people who lived there. A lot of us had relatives somewhere on Vardenfell, and after the first day of the eruption occurred, we started receiving reports of widespread devastation in Vivek City, Sadrith Mora, Balmora, and Aldruhn. I don't think a single night went by for months where you wouldn't hear someone openly weeping. It was a sad time for all of us. I asked if Mournhold has sustained any damage during the Red Year. I don't know why, but the destruction seemed to pass us by. A few Dunmer claimed it was the Tribunal watching over us, but others claimed that the Tribunal was to blame for everything. I actually saw a few of those disagreements come to blows. It was a strange time. I got an interesting response from Daros regarding Mournhold's role during the Red Year. Relief efforts began almost a month after the mountain erupted. It was actually a directive that came from the House Redoran councillor that was living in Mournhold at the time. I can't remember his name, but he took charge of the situation and sent soldiers, supplies, and able-bodied Dunmer to the outlying settlements that had been hit the hardest. I was sent to Balmora. The place was a mess. Hardly anything left in town was still standing. I spent maybe 2 months there, helping to rebuild the town and getting my fellow Dunmer back to their feet. It started out as a burden, but it ended up being the most rewarding thing I have ever done in my life. I started some friendships there that still last to this day, included my beloved wife. Oh, for a really difficult to read book, it ended with a really nice ending for that one, at least. It's actually pretty nice to read about it. Okay, there's so much. So many books I want to read. Okay, House of Travels, Doors of the Spirit, History of Raven Rock. 1, 2, yeah, 1 we already did, right? We read 1. Leading Teleno. No, I didn't. No, because I took it with me. That's why I didn't. I have 3 of them here, so I'm going to read them anyways. I know that this is going to be a lot of reading, but I want to read today. I don't really care. The History of Raven Rock, Volume 1, by Lenin Teleno. Forward. Raven Rock is one of the more interesting colonies of Morrowind of the last 2 centuries. So much has happened in this tiny town in such a short amount of time, and so many lives have been affected by it. I felt it necessary to describe its rich history with these volumes. During my research, I've lived in Raven Rock for almost 3 years, and I got to know many of my fellow Dunmer who call Raven Rock their home. I hope that my readers will appreciate the amount of fortitude and perseverance that it must take to endure life in such an inhospitable and untamed land. Raven Rock was founded in the Third Era, 427, by the East Empire Company, in response to the discovery of a rich ebony mine on the southern edge of the island of Solstheim. The construction of the town took several months, and the mine immediately started yielding ebony ore that the miners shipped to Wilhelm in SKYRIM. By Third Era, 432, the town was home to over 30 people, all of whom depended on the mine for their livelihood. At this time, Raven Rock was almost exclusively inhabited by Imperials and a few Nords who were drawn to the mine's wealth. When the Oblivion Crisis arose in the Third Era, 433, Raven Rock remained largely untouched by Mehrunes Dragon's forces, and work continued as usual. The bulk of the Imperial Guard that was stationed in Raven Rock was recalled to Cyrodiil to fight the invading forces. But a few soldiers remained behind in order to protect the ebony mine from bandits. It's uncertain whether any Oblivion Gates ever showed up on Solstheim, as there appears to be no record for such an event ever occurring there. In the first year of the Fourth Era, after the destruction of Alrunes, many of the Dunmer great houses sent out small groups of their own to seek places to re-establish themselves. House Redran's group was led by Barara Morvain, who immediately struck out for Solstheim. After some quick negotiations with the East Empire Company and some speculate quite a bit of coin changing hands, Barara's group was allowed to settle in Raven Rock, where they quickly became a part of the mining colony's way of life. The Dunmer proved to be both hard-working and reliable when it came to working in the mines, impressing the East Empire Company and solidifying the relationship. All was going quite well until the fateful day in the Fourth Era, year 5, when the Red Mountains suddenly erupted, sending a massive blast across the Sea of Ghosts that struck Solstheim with its full fury. Raven Rock was heavily damaged by this wave of force, which toppled several of its stone structures and obliterated many of the wooden ones. Ironically, the mine once again proved to be the town's saving grace, as most of the population of Raven Rock was working underground at the time and was completely shielded from the blast. This event wasn't without cost, however. Raven Rock was heavily dependent on nearby Fort Frostmoth for its defense, but the eruption had almost completely wiped it from the face of Solstheim. The few soldiers that survived took residence in Raven Rocks itself and attempted to set up a makeshift garrison there, but these scant few were hardly a match for potential threats to their town. With the East Empire Company's permission, Barada brought in some of House Redran's elite, Redran Guard, to fill the void. The Guard proved to be an ideal replacement for the fallen Imperial soldiers and have been guarding the town ever since. Okay, Volume 2. The History of Raven Rock, Volume 2 by Lerin Taleno. I suppose it's the same forward. After a few years, the relented ash storms from the ever-erupting Red Mountain had transformed Solstheim's southern reaches into pure ash wastes, reminiscent of those present on Barderfell itself. The storms would leave behind deep dunes of ash that made life exceedingly difficult in Raven Rock. In order to protect the town from these drifts, Brada Morvain proposed that the East Empire Company construct a large wall of her own design to protect the eastern end of town. The company quickly agreed and provided the necessary funds. After almost a year, the construction was complete, and the huge edifice was named the Bulwark. The wall proved to be extremely effective and allowed work to continue unbatted in the mines. In the Fourth Era, year 16, when Solstheim was passed into the hands of the Dunmer people, the East Empire Company was forced to relinquish Raven Rock's control to House Redoran. The council quickly named Bara Morvain as consular of the new town and allowed her to rule Solstheim as she saw fit. As a result of this changing of the guard, almost the entire imperial population left Raven Rock and returned to Cyrodiil. Brada continued to welcome the Dunmer that elected to settle on Solstheim. Some chose to stay in Raven Rock to work in the mines, and others took more familiar territory and began a nomadic lifestyle in the ash wastes. The next few decades were the golden years in Raven Rock. Brada Morvain was keeping the peace, the mines were still producing large quantities of ebony, and the Dunmer that lived on the island were happy. After almost 50 years of prosperity in Fourth Era, year 65, Brada Morvain finally succumbed to old age and passed away. She was interred in the family's ancestral tomb, and her son, Leril Morvain, took her place. The people who had lived in Raven Rock during Brada's time as counselor were pleased to discover that Leril shared his mother's notions of rulership. He was fair and compassionate, which kept the people on the island quite happy for many decades. So, The History of Raven Rock, Volume 3 by Lerin Taleno. All was going well in Raven Rock until Fourth Era, year 95, when an attempt on Leril's life was made without warning. Unfortunately, the attack was unsuccessful thanks to the prowess of the Redoran Guard. Under questioning by Captain Modin Beleth, the assassin was revealed to be Bilur Ulan of House Hlalu. House Hlalu had been at odds with House Redorans for years, following their removal from the Council of Great Houses. The Hlalu believed that House Redoran was instrumental in this reorganization and have held a grudge ever since. Their attempt on Larry's life was meant to send a message to the council that House Redoran was not as mighty as they purported to be, and they were truly vulnerable and weak. The Redoran Guard investigated further and discovered that Bilur had been organizing a coup in Raven Rock in an attempt to fully wrest control of the island from Leril's grasp. Bilur and his conspirators were executed and the coup was quelled. Several recent events have served to solidify the Dunmer people's respect for Leril Morvain. In Fourth Era, 130, the bulwark began to show its age and threatened to crumble. The councillor elected to use the bulk of his personal fortune to have it repaired. In the Fourth Era, year 150, a small force of Arconians landed on Solstheim with the intent of wreaking havoc on the island. and Councillor Morvain led the charge against them personally. And in 4th Era, year 170, when the ebony mine finally began to dry up, he drained the remainder of his coffers, keeping the people fed. By 4th Era, year 181, the mine's ebony veins were completely exhausted. Leriel ordered the mine to be shut down, and Raven Rock turned to hunting and fishing for its trade. A few Dunmer families departed Solstheim and returned to the mainland, but most stayed behind. At present, Leriel Morvain is still the ruler of Raven Rock. The Redoran Guard continues to maintain order within the town and the surrounding area, keeping the Raven Rock's residents safe and in line. If even so much as a rumor of dissent reaches Leriel's ears, he has it squashed immediately. He is well aware that there may be a few Hlalu loyalists still present among her population that would like to see him dead. The future may appear bleak for Raven Rock, but the spirit of its inhabitants will never be broken. That's a lot to read. House of Travels, The Doors of the Spirit. I want to read everything. It is going to be such a long section. I was what? The House of Travels. Does it have an author? Among the ancient ancestral spirits who accompanied Saint Beloth and the Chimer into the promised land of Morrowind, the four Dedra lords, Malakath, Meruns, Dagon, Molag Bal, and Sheogorath, are known as the Four Corners of the House of Travels. These Dedra lords rebelled against the council and admonition of the tribunal, causing great kinstrife and confusion among the clans and great houses. Malakath, Meruns, Dagon, Molag Bal, and Sheogorath are holy in that they serve the role of obstacles during the testing. Through time, they have sometimes become associated with local enemies like the Nords, Akaviri, or mountain orcs. Malakath is the reanimated dung that was Trinimak. Malakath is a weak but vengeful god. The Dark Elf says he is Malak, the god king of the orcs. He tests the Dunmer for physical weakness. Molag Bal is, in Morrowind, the king of tries to upset the bloodlines of houses and otherwise ruin the Dunmer gene pool, a race of monsters said to live in Molag Amur, and the result of his seduction of Vivek during the previous era. Sheogorath is the king of madness. He always tests the Dunmer for mental weakness. In many legends, he is called upon by one Dunmer faction against another. In half of these stories, he does not betray those who call him, further confusing the issue of his place in the scheme of things. Can he help us? Is he not an obstacle? He is often associated with the fear other races have of the Dunmer, especially those who, like the Empire, might prove as useful allies. Meruns Dagon is the god of destruction. He is associated with the natural dangers like fire, earthquakes, and floods. To some, he represents the inhospitable land of Morrowind. He tests the Dunmer's will to survive and persevere. The worship of these four malevolent spirits is against the law and practice of the temple. However, the Four Corners seldom fail to discover those greedy, reckless, or mad enough to serve them. By ancient temple laws and customs, and also by imperial law, the lives of witches and warlocks are forfeit, and imperial garrisons join ordinators and buoyant armatures of the temple in tracking down and destroying these foul covens in the wilderness. Wilderness refuges and ancient ruins where they conceal their profane worship. Interesting. Weird format. Okay. The doors of the spirit. The ancestors are among us. They are never farther away than the waiting door. The ancestors are not departed. The dead are not under the earth. Their spirits are in the restless wind, in the fire's voice, in the foot's smooth step. Pay heed to these things, and you will know your absent king. Pay reverence through gift and prayer. Acquaint the ancestors with your affairs, with your comings and goings, with your blessings and trials. From the waiting door comes your protection. Heed the spirits who are the guardians of your hearth. Teachers of wisdom, counselors of fortune, seers of fate. Each bone is a door through the wall of the world. Each bone is the road, with wisdom and power the travelers. Each bone is the ghost fence that guards us from evil. Honor the ancestors upon your hearths, within your halls, in the community of your temples, in the solitude of your tombs. Guard your ancestors from beasts, from thieves, from profane priests and sorcerers. Let no creature steal your spirits, for the plundered hearth is diminished and the plundered tomb is shamed. Live in one world with your spirits. Honor the spirits within and without you. Do not grieve for the dead. Take shelter in their arms and pay heed to their words. Interesting. Deathbrand, a pirate's tale. What is that? Is it an age? Haknir? Haknir? I think it's an H, yeah. Haknir. Deathbrand was dying. For Garuk Windrime, ship's quartermaster, it was unthinkable. His grandfather had served under Haknir nigh on 60 years before, and even then he was a legend among the pirates of the north. The king of ghosts, they call him, as eternal and pitiless as the sea he sailed. To Garuk, who had seen him charge into battle, clad in armor of gleaming Solstheim like the kings of old, his twin swords scything men like grass. Haknir was practically a god, but none feared Haknir more than his own crew. They knew his rages, his fits of madness, how he delighted in torture and murder for his own sake, and there were even darker rumors. Some said he fed upon the blood and souls of those he killed to extend his unnatural life. Some thought him a Daedra, loosened upon the mortal world, and others said he showed his life and power, his armor and swords to a pact with Dagon, Prince of Destruction, and the seal of that pact was the terrible wound that scarred his face, never to heal, the Deathbrand, which no man could look upon without flinching. All these things ran through Garuk's mind as he took his place on deck, at the head of the crew, exchanging a court nod with Thalin, the ship's helmsman, and his chief rival. By sundown, he thought, one of them would be captain, the other would be dead. When Haknir finally emerged from his cabin, the crew fell silent. He looked frail, his voice raspy, but even so, he had a presence about him. As he looked over his men, the most brutal murderers ever to ply the northern seas, no one could meet his gaze. At last, he sighed. "You wish to know who will be my successor, and how my share of the treasure shall be divided." That was the question, but even so, there were murmurs of protest. Haknir cut them off. "All these years I have looked for one who was worthy to take my place, or strong enough to take it from me. No one of you even comes close, and so none of you shall have it." He extended his hand. "In Dagon's name, I place a curse upon my armor and my swords, this ship and all it carries, until the day when one of you can best me in combat. You shall have not a single coin." He looked up at them. "Be grateful I have left you with your lives." Garuk and Thalin shared a single glance. Had anyone else said such a thing, there would have been mutiny. 100 treasure-mad pirates against one old man. But this was Haknir. The crew was silent. Haknir threw a map at Garuk's feet. "Garuk, take a longboat and bury my armor in the places I have marked. Thalin, We sail to my tomb, where you shall leave me with my gold. Then burn your ships and do as you will. I am your captain no more. And with that, he turned and stalked back to his quarters. At daybreak, Garuk took his leave and set out in a long boat with 3 of his men. They landed on a shoal to the north of Solstheim, at the place Hagnir had marked, made camp, and began to dig. But already greed stirred in Garuk's heart. Time and again he glanced at the iron-bound chest that they had brought with them. The old man was gone, perhaps already dead. His orders, foolish. That night, Garuk pried open the chest and drew out the helm within. The steel rim shimmered in the moonlight. It was time for a new king of ghosts to rise. He placed the helmet on his head, and he screamed. And it said you can hear the screaming still on moonlight nights on a rocky shoal of the northern coast of Solstheim. Postscript. This story is one of the last in the Hagnir saga, the tales surrounding the life and adventures of the legendary pirate king Hagnir Deathbrand. How much of it is actually true, if indeed any of it is true, I leave to the reader's discretion. It said north, right? North of Solstheim. It would be interesting to find the exact place.
Of course, Elder. Please forgive me.
What am I doing? What am I hearing? I have a lot of stuff. So, clear the temple's tomb, ancient Nordic pickaxe, look at east, pendants, retrieve the jelly, locate Cinder's folio for the wreck. Yes, speak to Rally Selden, There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have a lot of stuff though. Wait. If I don't do this, I'll never see it. Okay, after so much of reading. What is that? Ooh, that looks cool. Nash spawn. Why would I use fire against this? Oh. Should I use something like frostbite? Even if it's wow. Here we go. I should not be doing that. Okay, healing. Where are the 2 of you? Okay. That's a new type of thing. Conjuration. Yep. And I also will need oh no, wait. Let's just do some oak flesh. And then get healing. There we go. Hi. No, don't hit him. There's a 3rd one. It's a lot. What are my healing potions? There we go. No! I am an idiot. Hey! Don't hit my corpse. Well, I might as well just, yeah. Are they resistant to fire, because that's what I'm guessing. I mean, they are ash monsters. They should be resistant to fire. That's my guess. Okay, no, yeah. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. No, I'm just going to do that. They are very difficult. Okay. They look so cool though. They look really good. There we go. Are you okay? Ebonior. Please, give me everything. Oh no. There's more people. Didn't even give me time. Okay, I'm leveling up 100. Good. No, 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 no. That's another one. Okay, let me get some resist fire. And restore some health. Oh god. Give me that. Are we good? I don't want to be hit by the other ones though. Yeah, and you're not going to... Oh, there we go. Okay, he's getting up. Good. 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 There's another one. Oh, they are coming from there. Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, wait. I need to remember to... Yeah, I'm really the force. You're good. Okay. No. have anything? Dude, I made them. I made so many potions last time. And now I have nothing. Oh god. This is going to be... I should have thought about it more. Instead of doing this. Okay, yeah, that's another one there. I need to try to focus on one of them. Going to, yeah, quick save a little bit. I'm not going to kill everything else again. Yes! Yes! And I got quite a lot of ore and stuff, which is actually pretty good. Yay! Empty. There's an ash pile I didn't get. That's empty. Where does...
What do you need, Thane?
Nothing. I wanted to get out. I didn't see you there. Okay. I mean, it is completed, so I suppose it's not going to be any more enemies. But I can get this stuff. I mean, I'm taking just a few things. It's not like it's going to... Okay, so there's that. There's that. Honeycomb. Okay. That's another locked door. Let's see what's there. Loot the whole place. Just take everything that you can take. And then talk to the old man. There we go. That is done. To Solstheim. This is like a second entrance? Because I entered through the temple. Oh, it's an expert lock. Oh, but I have more than 100. Okay, doesn't matter. I can use a few. I didn't know I had so many lockpicks. Here we go. Lockpicking is so easy in this game. You just need to keep trying. Where did I go out? Oh, that one. Okay. Good to know. Hi. Elder, hello.
I am Arthraloth, elder of the Reclamations and keeper of this temple.
The temple's tomb has been cleansed.
Spirits be praised. I'm hoping you didn't suffer much at the hands of those foul beings. Please, accept this.
Oh, not at all. I just died twice. Good. You too? Okay.